All right, anyway, here is a party, much like the Democratic Party, that used to represent the left flank of politics in the United Kingdom, losing everything as a direct consequence of leaning into this moderate center or even to the right, which predictably gave way to a massive growth in this now dominant fascist movement in the country. I'm, of course, talking about the Labour representing center-left politics in the UK, the Conservatives representing center-right politics in the UK, and Reform that represents the far right. Yesterday, some elections took place in England, Scotland, and Wales. And boy, oh boy, were the results devastating for a Labour Party that actively destroyed itself because they were terrified of Jeremy Corbyn, where Labour has lost more than 1,000 council seats, with Reform picking up 1,222 council seats. And the Greens have had a pretty tremendous victory in the process as well. And so have the Liberal Democrats too, weirdly enough. But the Greens have been doing a phenomenal job. We released the BBC projected national share based off of the council results. Reform at 26%, Green at 18%, Labour at 17%, Conservatives at 17%, with Lib Dems at 16%. A clear but far from overwhelming victory for Reform, with everyone else clustered in a big lump behind them. Ultimate fragmentation. De-Yankification now says changes is 2025, Reform -4, Greens +7, Labour -3, Conservative +2, Lib Dems -1. Old people will destroy this country. God, I fucking hate the elderly. Dude, the Reform Party is literally all show too. Like, if you were to go to the average Reform voter, because like England has class politics in its roots. Like, it's not like America where people are oblivious to class. If you were to ask the average Reform voter to spell out like some top line issues beyond immigration, beyond, fucking up the boats, lad, right? They would just look at you and be like, that's not true. There's no way the Reform Party wants to do that. Okay? Like, there are so many people who were lifelong, reliable Labor voters at a time when they thought that the Labor Party, and not thought, but like the Labor Party did represent the interests of the working class, that now vote for the Reform Party because racism is the only game in town. It's insane. Yes, I saw this. This is what I was referencing here. Hilarious video that shows none of the Reform voters know any of Reform's policies. Before I get to this, though, let's do a top-line approach here, a little bit of analysis, and then we'll get to all of that.
At 6, Labour has suffered huge losses after millions of people went to the polls in England, Wales and Scotland. The Labour Party is set for an historic defeat in Wales, losing control of the Senedd for the first time since devolution almost 30 years ago, with Plaid Cymru forecast to win the most seats. In Scotland, the SNP will remain the largest party, but their vote share is down in almost every constituency. It is ReformUK that has made some of the biggest gains across Britain so far. The Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, has described Labour's results as tough, but says he's not going to walk away from the job. Let me just show you what has been happening in Wales, England and Scotland. This is...
Keir Starmer literally is just like, nope, I'm tanking this further. How far can we go? How far can we take this? First of all, Keir, buddy, you might not walk away from the job, but the job is going to walk away from you. That's number one. I don't even know how he stays in power at this point. I have no idea how he stays in power at this point. He has to get fired, right? There's no shot. I mean, one of his most famous speeches is when he literally says to his own party, if you don't like it, you can fucking leave. And it turns out a lot of people that were lifelong Labor Party members were like, okay, sure, I am leaving. Some of them left for reform. Many of them also left for the Green Party. I don't think he makes it out by the end of this year, but what do I know?
Wales, what has been a Labour stronghold for more than a century, Labour now pushed into third place with Plaid Cymru out front. In England, it is Reform that has been surging. These are the latest tally there. Look, Reform now more than 1,000 seats. They started with just 2. Labour has lost.
Nigel Farage is a disgusting monster through and through. By the way, I have to talk about the media's role in all of this as well. The media abso-fucking-lutely played a major role here too. Anyway, if you're wondering how we got here, the media definitely played a big role in this too. Is the Labor's suicide? It's a corporate interest that is the corporate interest and the power of the Israeli lobby that certainly exists in the UK as well. Destroying labor from within, playing a formative role with the same exact Oxbridge commentators that were defending their class interests and the class interests of their friends who are in positions of power, representing the capitalist class's interests through and through to ensure that labor destroyed itself, self-destructed in an effort to make sure that, Jeremy Corbyn never actually saw any power whatsoever in the country. And then actively undermining, not just like correctly covering the Labor's failures, but also actively undermining this insurgency that took place within the Greens. Because if you were to watch British media leading up to this goddamn election, you would think that Adolf Hitler reincarnated as a Jewish man in the form of Zach Polanski. Okay. Meanwhile, the Reform Party and its door knockers were running around in every fucking district and every council being like, yes, would you like to kill every migrant? Would you like to kill every migrant? Also, the Holocaust is questionable if it happened or not. We don't know. Like literally, I think a Reform guy who is a active Holocaust denier won a seat yesterday. But you never heard about shit like that from the fucking British media because they were too busy yelling at the one Jewish guy heading a major party and his opinion on Palestine, which is the majority opinion, by the way. They were so hyper-focused on bashing the Greens that the British public has been actively uninformed about what the fuck's going on in their own politics, where they're like, all right, well, I don't like them. I don't like them, the migrants. They're taking up the toll. They're taking up space in the tube. I don't quite like them. They're the reason why I don't get NHS aid. Right? Meanwhile, half of the fucking NHS is migrants. Yeah, let's take them all out of the country, lad. Fucking hell. England for English. Meanwhile, the Labour Party's like, yes, we cannot be a nation of strangers. That's what fucking Keir Starmer said. So what do you expect? If you don't cover the Reform's race baiting over and over again, it's racial agitations, it's anti-immigrant sentiment, and you actively pursue the Greens as though they're like a terrifying prospect for a British future because they, want to undermine the interests of the capital owning class a little bit in an effort to center the British working class in their policies, in their agenda. If you find that to be the true threat, then yeah, people are going to be uninformed and they're going to go and, vote for the Reform Party.
845 seats. And onto Scotland.
It's just so funny because like half of the wave of additional migrants that came in the aftermath of Brexit, which is the exact same force channeled by this fucking dipshit. And the same people who are like, I don't like Brexit no longer. I thought we were going to be an independent sovereign nation. Why do we fucking do this? Are now turning around and doing the same exact thing again.
Where it is the SNP who are still out front, though their majority has, for the number of seats so far, we are not sure quite where that is going to end up, but that is not what it was before. Our first report tonight is from our political editor, Chris Mason.
Ellie Ned Morgan was Wales's First Minister this morning. Tonight, she doesn't even have...
Islam is not a race, you moron. So how are they racist? Yeah. Tell that to the first victim of an Islamophobic hate crime that was killed in the aftermath of 9/11, who didn't happen to be Muslim at all. He was actually Sikh. So why did they kill him? Well, because the guy thought, when he shot and killed this Sikh man, as a matter of fact, he said this one's for 9/11. Why did he do that? Because Islamophobia is racialized. Okay. It's a racialized form of bigotry. It's also the reason why most people don't fucking yell at me or call me an Islamic jihadist before they find out what my name is, because I'm white. Also, what are the things that I don't understand about this kind of sentiment is like, what? Do you even care about racism either? Like, why? He's like, wait a minute. Islamophobia is totally normal. Don't you dare call me fucking racist, even though I hate them too. Like, you're both probably, right? The likelihood that someone who's Islamophobic is also going to be racist is unbelievably high. So who gives a shit? From your perspective, you should worry about defending racism too, you know, because they're violent, right? They're fucking violent. We should send them back too.
A seat in the Senedd, the Welsh Parliament.
Is Labour over in Wales?
Labour have won every Welsh election since before Sir David Attenborough was even born, but not this one.
Welsh Labour has today suffered a catastrophic result. It ends a century of Labour winning in Wales, and the party will need to take a really hard look at itself.
Everything you've been saying about UK politics summed up.
Would you vote reformed?
I'm not mental or racist, so no.
Is immigration a problem in the UK?
No,
Why'd you say no?
because it's fundamental to our existence.
Oh, why'd you say that?
Because we need it. We don't have enough people being born in this country. We need immigrants. It's simple.
Why does the UK fear immigration?
We're told to.
By who?
The elites that own us. So the capitalists and the billionaires that are in charge that really own us and own our parties, mostly the Tories, but now Labour as well, they tell us to fear it because they need someone to blame for our problems when really they're the ones causing our problems.
Do you think we have overpopulations in major cities?
No, not at all. We've got loads of room.
You think so, really? Because everyone says that the UK is such a small thing, the country is individual small islands. Bringing more people here, we don't have the space for it. Like, do you have any thoughts on that?
I think that's a lie. We have
Have you been outside of the major city centers, man? I have. Let me tell you, lots of space. Okay. The idea that like the UK as an island is just like the population density is far too high is one of the funniest things. There's plenty of empty space that you can build on. Okay. I'm not even talking about like the evisceration of farmland or anything, because that's important for agriculture and the ecology. I'm just straight up saying like there is plenty of room to still fucking build. Plenty of room to build. If you had some semblance of central planning in mind, you could literally just build a new city center, you know, Chinese style. Yeah, but no one wants to live there outside of the big cities in the UK is basically Bulgaria. Oh, you're not wrong, for sure. You're not wrong. Muslims can be any race, but Islam is racialized in the West. Oh, this guy's awesome. Yeah, I love this guy. This guy is genuinely my favorite politician. Topo Resnivero. You might think he's Japanese, by the way, from his outfit. He's actually Indonesian. He's an Indonesian anti-Muslim Islamophobic racist who LARPs as a Japanese guy. He's not Japanese. Candidate for Reform Party. Goated character. It's awesome. Secret Indonesian guy who is like, you know, anti people exactly like him coming to the country, or at least the party that he's involved in is that. Okay. And he's LARPing as a Japanese guy instead. Is he playable? Yes, he's a playable character. There's a reform candidate named Mohammed Sharia. Stop. There's no way. Keir Starmer's the equivalent of Obama and Farage, Trump, Hasan. What? What the fuck? The Greens do not have a chance in this general, and everyone knows it. Unfortunately, Labour MPs should have been brave and booted Keir. There's a reform candidate named Mohammed Sharia. What the fuck? I didn't know that one. This is the reform guy who won after denying the Holocaust. Yeah, ReformUK candidate. What the fuck? I thought that was my brother. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I literally thought that was Murat. I thought that was a photo of Murat. What the fuck? What the fuck? I'm not even kidding when I say this. It scared me. Okay. No, Murat is nowhere near that fat. No. This is old Murat. That's what I'm saying. He used to look exactly like this, bro. Come on. Plot twist. This is old Murat. The Mohammed Sharia guy is fake. Oh, man. Okay, I didn't know about this because it doesn't exist. Dude, look at this guy. Yeah, ReformUK candidate who said Holocaust was a hoax wins seat in local elections. I know, but when I clicked on the link, I got scared at first because I thought it was like one of our holiday pictures from our youth or something that they posted on the article. I was like, what the fuck? It could be Nezo, it could be you, it could be me, honestly. Yeah, this is Murat's chud, Bizarro Murat. Believes the opposite of what Murat believes. For the people who don't know how absurd this is, Topo's official election picture is a screenshot of him in some cape shit movie. He was also in one of the musicians in the Cantina in the original Star Wars. It's Marvel's Doctor Strange. Yeah, anti-Semitism being presented as the left-coded gives the right a free run with candidates like this. 100%. It's fucking devastating, man.
It is Plaid Cymru, who'd one day like an independent Wales, who are on course to be the biggest party, with this man likely to be First Minister.
It has become clear that Wales demanded that change of leadership, and I look forward to saying more about this later as the full picture becomes complete.
Sef un, seat 1, Dan Thomas, Reform UK Wales. Yay!
Reform have also done well in Wales, easily beating Labour. In Scotland, another win for the Scottish National Party, a 5th consecutive term.
I will simply do all that I possibly can do to make Scotland a successful country and to improve the lives of the people of our country, and I look forward to doing that in the next Scottish parliamentary term. Thank you very much.
Labour losing here as well then, a recurring pattern today. Just look at their body language. Glum, defensive, rejected. Speaking before the flurry of results this afternoon, here is the Prime Minister's take.
These are really tough results. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The voters have sent a message about the pace of change, how they want their lives improved. Labour was elected to meet those challenges, and I'm not going to walk away from those challenges and plunge the country into chaos.
ReformUK have made big gains in Basildon, in Essex, Tameside in Greater Manchester, and there was a hug in Hampshire too. And they've won in Suffolk,
Morning, Nigel.
Essex, Newcastle under Lyme, and here, Havering in East London.
Overall, what's happened is a truly historic shift in British politics. We've been so used to thinking about politics in terms of left and right.
Yeah, no, it's a historic shift. England, for the first time ever, is racist. It's never happened before. Historic shift in the direction of racism. Britain Yahoo? Oh my God. Oh, that's amazing. Britain Yahoo. I literally thought we finally saw enough of this pile of dog muck turn sentient after Brexit. Nope. Nope. It seems like there is an unbelievable appetite. The thing is, in a lot of seats they won, they would have lost if it was not first past the post. In at least half the seats they won, a majority voted against them.
And yet what Reform are able to do is to win in areas that have always been conservative, but equally, we're proving in a big way we can win in areas that Labour have dominated, frankly, since the end of World War I.
You literally called this when Labour won the last time? Reform nearly got half as many votes as Labour. Quite worrisome here. Yeah, look at this. Labour's landslide victory, definitely, Labour's landslide victory kind of muddies the waters given the way that like British politics works in terms of what their actual performance in totality looks like. Their actual performance in totality is insanely scary in comparison to former Labour politics and former Labour numbers. And also when you look at something like this, when you look at the vote numbers across the board, Reform UK got 4 million. That is like, I don't know what to say. That is so terrifying. That is unimaginably terrifying. That is a red alarm bell. That we're talking like we're nearing re-education camp territory, like immediately. Okay. Like the British boomer class is out of control, dude. They are so insanely reactionary. Yeah. Hasan didn't call this. It was widely reported. Come on, chat. No, my call specifically back then was Keir Starmer is going to do tepid neoliberalism. He's going to pivot to the right. And that is going to cause a massive, massive surge in support for reform. And that's precisely what happened. That's precisely what happened. I said it verbatim. I said Keir Starmer. This is from 2024, the first day of the Labour victory, where I said Starmer got less votes than Corbyn. Keir Starmer is obviously very, very right-wing. And this right-wing pivot for Labour is going to cause reform to win. This is what's important to analyze. Like it's a thumping majority without a thumping share in the vote. What could possibly go wrong? Where is the part where I just say like what is this? Hasan the Hun is right. We need him in British politics that can say the things. Zach Polanski is too much of a gentleman to say. Farage gets to do this, but Zach needs to sit there and politely ask that his Jewishness not be erased while being accused of Jew hatred.
Questions on funding for local councils. You've had some difficult questions about your own funding.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that any other time if you like.
Yeah. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. There is absolutely a class issue here. Like class is so class is obviously fundamentally important in my politics across the board, right? I believe in the Marxist tradition I'm a socialist. But class is demystified in places like the United States of America by design. It's very successfully demystified. We have the concept of middle class voters, upper middle class, that sort of thing. Whereas in the UK, class politics is very in your face. And class interests are primary. Oh, wait, did I say demystified? I meant mystified. Class interests are mystified in American politics, whereas in the UK, it's right in your face. I mean, they have a fucking Council of Lords, right? They still have lords in the UK. And there's also a lot of respect for members of the upper crust of society. It sucks, but it's the case. And part of the issue with British politics is that everyone in the fucking media and everyone that's a politician for the most part are directly coming from the same two fucking schools, Oxford and Cambridge. Okay? They come from Oxford and they come from Cambridge. They all hang out. They all know each other. They're all homies with one another. They're cut from the same fucking cloth. And even those who are not from that same caste system will still, in an effort to advance through these institutions, advance the interests of the same class system. Okay? And that's precisely what it is. Okay? Eton too? Sure. Yeah, and class politics is so segmented, is so fragmented in the country that you can tell where someone went to school from the way that they speak. Right? Even Boris Johnson, we look at him as a goofy from the United States of America, but like Boris Johnson has that classic party trick that he always pulls out, right? Where he ends up doing Homer's Odyssey in the original Latin, right? He learned about this. He learned about this in school. He got the proper schooling. So all of that is a direct manifestation. Eton is a college, not a university. And college is high school. For those of you in the United States, a college is where you go to for what we here in the United States would call a high school, right? Oxbridge is a reference to the university that people go to after they get their college education in Eton, right? Isn't that how it is? It's between high school and uni. Sorry, high school and uni. College is 16 to 18 in the UK. College and university are interchangeable? No, but I feel like colleges are... Like in Turkey, we have colleges too. Like we call high school college in Turkey. So I assume it's like the same in it's secondary school. Okay, not in the UK. College is sixth form education in the UK. I thought in the US, a university is a collection of colleges. College is different in the UK, is different from uni. That's what I meant. I thought college was like what you go to before you go to university. You go to high school or you go to a college and then you go to university. No? Is that not how it is? Secondary school, then college for 16, 18 courses, then university for degrees. Colleges are usually polytechnic education. You go there after high school and before uni mostly. Isn't that sixth form? It goes primary school. It goes, okay, hold on. I'm going to do the accent for this. It goes primary school until 11, secondary school until 16, sixth form college, 17 to 18, and then university after that. Ah, yes. Very nice. Thank you. Spot on, sir. You're a good chap. Sixth form is the same as college, but when it's part of a secondary school. Eton College is just the name of the secondary school aged 13 to 18, but yeah, the 16 to 18 is a further education college. But some people do sixth form for the same years. Very nice. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is they all go to the same fucking schools, they're homies with one another, and they represent the same class interests, even if they're not directly a part of that same class. And you see this manifest in the media a lot, okay? It's not an accident that the guy who was lasering Zach Polanski, who very clearly represents the interests of the working class rather than the pedophilic capital-owning class, was cooked by a guy who was the best man of former Lord Mendelsohn, right? Who has, in the media, openly said that a lot of people are fake friends to Mendelsohn after the Epstein stuff. I'm still riding for him. And his job is not under threat at all. As a matter of fact, his job security comes from his diehard loyalty to those who are either servants of the elites or a part of the elites themselves. That's it. It's horrible. It's totally fucked up. But this guy nails it.
The Greenbelt is mostly empty space, and we've killed all the animals in it. We might as well build on it. We need houses. It's the fundamental thing that kills our country and kills our young people. We need to build houses. We need to make them so that people can buy them and own them and stop them being owned by landlords.
So I saw another stat on ITV that in the last 10 years, there's 6.2 million people on the waiting list for NHS and 2 million children in poverty in the UK. That allegedly, that is due to immigration. Would you have any thoughts on that?
I think it's not due to immigration. Immigration is the reason our NHS works. The thing that causes that is governments deliberately underfunding and sort of underutilising the NHS for what it could really be. It's nothing to do with immigrants coming in. It's to do with it being badly managed and badly funded.
Was Brexit a good or bad idea?
Terrible idea.
Why?
Fundamentally ruined every aspect of our country, and by every measurable factor, it's weakened us. We can't. The problem is as well with immigrants, the people that don't like immigrants, that want to get rid of immigrants, that would even be easier if we were in the EU. It's weakened everything. We can't do anything because we're not in the EU. We're not the big powerful Britannia that we once used to be, where we were going around the world and slaughtering people. We're a little island that's off the coast of the Atlantic. We need to be in the EU to have any kind of power or any kind of say-so. We need to have fair and legal routes for people to be able to access this country, and if you want to stop the small boats, that's how you start doing it. And eventually, by becoming a member of the EU, that would help us do that as well.
And I'll ask you more questions.
I mean, he cooks, no notes. He's absolutely right. So funny, this fucking dipshit posted himself taking this L. Oh yeah, the guy who was interviewing him, yeah. It's like, well, don't you think it's the immigrants? He's like, no. He sounds like you because he's just saying the truth. That's it. Yeah, if you say the truth like I do, then, you know, you're going to sound the same. Unfortunately, however, especially in mainstream outlets, you never hear this honest and refreshing perspective on exactly what the problems are. Everybody feels the pain, but right-wing forces at the behest of capital, redirect that anger to migrants because they recognize that if these people became more conscious of their class position and you know, voted for politicians that represent their interests better, then profit margins would go down. That'd be unbearable.
There were lots of cheering, even jumping Greens this evening too.
Zoe Garbett is duly elected as the Mayor of Hackney.
And a big win for them in East London.
This is a historic victory. This is the first time the Green Party have ever won a directly elected mayor. And two-party politics is not just dying, it is dead and it is buried. And actually, whether it's here that Labour have been rejected or whether we're seeing around the country, it's very clear that the new politics is the Green Party versus Reform.
The Conservatives, so often leading actors in the story of British politics, feel like little more than an extra today. They've gone backwards, but...
Good morning, Westminster. How are we feeling? How are we feeling?
they did regain Westminster Council.
I'm very proud of how we have done. I'm not saying that we're there yet. I'm not saying that the results are perfect. There are loads of councillors, Conservative councillors, who would have lost their seats, but they can see that our strategy is working. Good strategy takes time. It doesn't all happen overnight.
For the Liberal Democrats, modest gains and unorthodox dance moves. They lost control in Hull, gained control in Stockport, and won in Portsmouth.
It's a fantastic result here in...
Liberal Democrats are so funny. I'm sorry. Like, what the fuck is a... Like, what do they represent, even? Like, who's like, oh, well, in the age of feckless labor moving to the moderate center, we, the Liberal Democrats, we are going to be... We've been there, you know? We've been the moderates. The things are actually fine party.
Portsmouth, the Reform threw everything at it, but we won. We've taken control of this council, and we've shown across the country that it's the Liberal Democrats who can hold off and beat Reform.
What then of the Prime Minister's future? There hasn't, as yet at least, been an eruption of Labour folk demanding he goes. This Labour MP used to be in Keir Starmer's cabinet. This afternoon she said he should stay. For now.
The Prime Minister is doing an absolutely exceptional job on the international...
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's just so bad. It's just, how do you even reduce yourself to this undignified status, man?
...national stage, and it's incredibly important that he's successful in that role because our constituents' livelihoods depend upon it. But the message has been clear from the public that unless the government delivers significant and urgent change, it's clear that the Prime Minister cannot lead us into another election.
A smattering of other Labour MPs are saying similar things.
We have lost brilliant Labour representatives, people who put so much into their communities, so much into our party and our movement. And the vote...
Why wasn't restore an option? Like the Rupert Lowe's party? That's what you're talking about, right? I don't know, maybe because Reform is like, we're fucking Nazi enough, and people were like, no, it's good enough. We're good enough with like moderate Adolf Hitler. We don't want to go full Hitler. Even though they did win 10 seats, apparently. So there's still some people who were like, no, moderate Nazism is not good enough for me. I want maximalist Nazism.
Have sent a message about the pace of change, how they want their lives improved. I was elected to meet those challenges, and I'm not going to walk away from those challenges and plunge the country into chaos.
They want to change you.
Well, they've sent a message that the change that we promised isn't being delivered in a way they can feel, and also, frankly, they're fed up with years of the status quo. But we were elected.
Yeah, you, man. They see you as a representative of the status quo. There's no way that you could... First of all, Keir Starmer is already a charisma vacuum anyway, so there's very little shot that he would be able to out-talk his way out of this. But it's very funny that he's also in an impossible position. This was an unbelievable defeat for Labour. Like, it was a spectacular defeat for Labour. There's no way that you can talk your way out of this. Even if you were an incredibly charismatic figure, which you are not.
To deal with those challenges, and I'm not going to walk away from that and to plunge the country into chaos.
Did you contemplate that the problem might be you, that you might need to go to help Labour win these seats back? Did you even contemplate it? Did you acknowledge it as a conversation even?
Look, I think it's absolutely clear that the electorate are fed up with the fact that their lives aren't changing quickly enough. And this has been going on for a very, very long time. I think that we were right to emphasise to the country the difficult inheritance we had, the challenges we face, but we haven't done enough to convince people that things can improve, their lives can get better, the hope and I'm not going to walk away from that challenge. We made a number of calls which were the right calls in terms of stabilising the economy, investing in our public services and not getting dragged into the Iran war. But we also made unnecessary mistakes. And my job now is to set out the steps that we will take to bring about the change that people want and deserve.
PM, to be clear, you are not going to resign?
No, I'm not going to walk away and plunge the country into chaos. We were elected to deal with these challenges, and that's what we will do.
Has Ed Miliband asked you to set out a timetable for your departure?
Well, I think Ed Miliband has dealt with this and made absolutely clear that he supports me.
What do you say to those in your party that are really upset with you?
Starmer presided over a historic loss, and he still gets more preferential media treatment than Zach Polanski has gotten. I mean, I wouldn't say he's getting preferential treatment, but at least they're not telling him to kill himself. It's impossible for any media outlet to give him positive coverage right now. I wouldn't like the situation. The situation is untenable. It's a resounding defeat. Everyone knows what's going on. He's basically Liz Truss. Last night, we were told the Greens were underperforming. Wrong. The BBC gives the Greens a projected share of 18%, narrowly making them second place. That means they are outperforming the average polling, and that's despite younger voters being less likely to vote in locals. Yeah.
They don't think you're getting it, and they're...
The real problem is, I think Labour is so unbelievably anti-green that they would rather not do any sort of coalition with the Greens, even if the Greens were to win like a significant chunk of the vote. And I don't even know what that looks like. Because right now, given the share of votes for Labour and the Greens, like there is definitely an opportunity for a coalition, like an anti-reform coalition, because reform is going to get like a quarter plus. I could see Labour trying to like align themselves with the Conservatives or something. Maybe not reform, but Labour reform Conservative coalition will 100% be a thing. You are mistaken. Labour historically has partnered with Lib Dems and Greens in local elections. No, I know, but there is... Polanski literally has been accused of fomenting anti-Semitism, implying he's not just a problem for his party, but for the country in general. That's way beyond what is being pushed against Starmer. Yeah, I wouldn't say that we are looking at the same Labour Party that existed.
Calling for your resignation. What do you say to would-be challengers and the party?
And we're not even looking at the same Green Party that existed either.
I think it's very important that we don't sugarcoat these results, so I'm not going to do that. They are tough results.
Dog, there is no sugar that you can put on not just like a piece of dog shit, but a piece of dog shit that's been covered in nuclear waste. Okay? You can put as much sugar on it as possible. It still smells, looks exactly, and radiates exactly like a piece of dog shit covered in nuclear dust. Okay? It's over. Big dog, it's over.
Accept that. They reflect voters who don't feel that their lives have changed enough or quickly enough, and that's been going on for a long time. We were elected to deal with that, and I'm not going to walk away from that responsibility and plunge the country into chaos.
I've got a final question. One of your own top team messaged me this morning and said that you are the reason that Labour risks handing the country to reform, that you are the problem. What do you say to that? That if you stay on, you will hand the country to reform?
What I'd say to that is, we won a landslide victory in July 2024. I led our party to that victory. That is a 5-year mandate to change the country. Yes, there are difficult conditions. The inheritance was terrible. The international context is very, very difficult. But we need to inject that hope and convince people that things can.
Brother, how are you going to inject hope into anything? It's socialism or barbarism. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs.
And will get better. And that's why in coming days, I'll set out the further steps that we will take.
How are you feeling? Are you feeling upset today?
I am feeling very much for the brilliant candidates, the brilliant councillors, the brilliant representatives that we have lost, because I know for them they have put so much into their communities, so much of their life into public service.
Tommy Vitor says, I understand why Starmer doesn't want to go. None of them ever do, but I think this is a crazy decision for Labour. The voters have spoken. They want new leadership. If you don't listen, you will squander the time you have left to right the ship. Maybe a lesson from maybe a lesson here for the Democratic Party in the United States of America.
Do you like my suit?
Unbelievable, fella. You've done well.
I'm all for Nigel Farage. Give us a high five. To right.
I'm a reform.
Same here. So what annoys me is that everyone thinks that reform are all about hating immigrants.
No, it's a load of rubbish.
But I think there's so much more to us than that.
Oh, most definitely. Of course there is. Of course there is.
What other reform policies do you like?
I mean, I can't name off.
Yeah, lad. Fucking hell. Hate the fucking migrants, yeah. Reform has got a good fucking platform in it, right? I can't tell you what it is, but I believe in it in my heart, right? Fucking hell.
To be honest with you, I can't remember them all now.
Shall I help you out?
No. Give me a second.
What other reform policies do you like?
Spend more money on the NHS.
This is the part that killed me when I watched this video. They go on to explain all of the policies that are literally and not on the reform platform at all. And as a matter of fact, policy that reform is objectively antagonistic to. Okay? It is hog singularity, man. This is just how the Republicans are in America, too. This is how MAGA is in America as well. You ask MAGA, you're like, so what led you to vote for Donald Trump? And they just go through a list of issues that Donald Trump has never been in favor of or outright antagonistic to, down to the peace president shit.
It's actually not one of our policies. We want to cut public services by £150 billion. Wow. Okay. It's quite a bold statement. We need to put an end to free healthcare.
Yeah. Do you think so?
We need to protect the wealthiest.
Yes.
So we need to cut the taxes on things like private education, private healthcare.
Yep.
Protect the billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
Climate change is a myth.
Oh, right. Thank you for that.
So we need to put an end to net zero.
I don't really know too much about all that, but yeah.
I think we should ban protests altogether as well.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Obviously, people have the right to say what they want to say, but...
Just do it at home, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you like how Nigel supported Liz Truss's mini budget?
Yes.
100%. We support zero-hour contracts.
Yeah.
I don't like all this, like 1 week you're working, 1 week you're not.
Oh, well, that is actually a reform policy.
Yeah.
We want to protect the wealth.
And then when they're faced with the reality that this is a reform policy, they end up conceding on it. These are the people that are going to get more mad once reform does win and implements the shit that they thought reform wasn't going to implement. And then the more mad they get, the more they're going to lean into Reform Britain this time, who will say, see now, the real problem was reform wasn't violent enough towards the fucking migrants. I hate this shit so much. I hate it so fucking much. And everyone is responsible for it. Okay? Or not Reform Britain, sorry, Restore Britain. Restore Britain. I said fucking reform. I voted for reform. Reform didn't do the fucking anti-migrant initiatives they promised to do. Now we got to fucking restore Britain. England for the English lad. Fucking hell. They are fascists. They only care about making people they consider inferior to suffer no matter the cost. See, that's the underlying sentiment. But I don't think that's actually entirely correct, because, like, if these guys were properly educated on what these different parties are offering, okay, and they heard the entire reform agenda, okay, I don't think that they would vote for reform. They would make a better cost benefits analysis here. They would make a better calculation on who to vote for. The problem is the media doesn't also give them this information. What's the fucking media talking about? Anytime they're talking about the Greens, are they talking about how the Greens center the working class in their agenda? How the Greens want to fucking fund the NHS? How the Greens actually want to bring back council homes and shit like that? Fuck no. They're not talking about that at all. The media class is hyper-focusing on Zach Polanski being the second coming of Adolf Hitler, despite being the only major party leader that's Jewish. And for that reason, a lot of these guys don't even look to the mainstream resources anymore anyway, and they just go to their own little hug box on the internet, where the independent media is doing the same thing as well. Telling him to be fearful, telling him that, like, immigrants are the reason why the NHS sucks. Immigrants are the reason why the trains don't run on time. Immigrants are the reason why there's all these, like, infrastructure problems, that things are more expensive than they used to be, that you don't have a good job, you don't have good pay, you don't have good benefits. It's all immigrants this, immigrants this, immigrants this. They lean into the fears that already exist.
We think it's a good idea to turn this country into a tax haven for the billionaires. That means not taxing their foreign income.
Well, you know, I think we should all pay our fair amount of tax.
Do you think those are all good ideas?
Oh yeah, great ideas.
What? Fuck is this? Oh, look, one of Nigel's candidates admits on camera before she knew she was being filmed that she wants to privatize the NHS and make it insurance-based. You know how, like, America does and Americans can't afford it? Unfucking believable.
He wants to introduce a insurance-based system for the NHS.
So...
I've never heard that. Yeah, he has said
Yeah,
that.
no, he has. Are you filming me?
Yeah.
Please don't.
All right. I saw Nigel...
Fantastic. Reform is simply the anti-establishment vote, building, of course, on racism, particularly pensioners who are purely reactionary despite Labour helping them the most, and on Brexit credibility. Yeah, but they're also leaning further into the same thing that caused them pain. You know what I mean? Like, Brexit credibility, anyone associated with Brexit should be seen as not credible any longer, right? Brexit has not been a resounding success for the UK. It's like Republicans in gun control, right? A lack of adequate gun control in this country is what is responsible for the gun violence in this country. And every time gun violence happens, what do Republicans do? We need more guns. They're like, what we need to do is circulate more weapons into the hands of every American. Okay, well, now you're making the problem worse. At least half of reform supporters 65 plus is insane. Yeah, man, boomers are terrifying, dude. They make terrible decisions. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just so fucked.